Hi, friends and kindred souls. Welcome back to Sage Thyme. I'm Lillian. I'm glad you're here. Are you feeling it? It is the Scorpio full moon, and actually, I looked at I thought it was happening overnight. I looked at the chart this morning, and it's happening right now as I'm recording this. And I was really prompted to do a recording today because I'm feeling a lot of individuals, a lot of everyone, feeling the weight of this Scorpio full moon. And there's this, not bittersweet, but there's this just beauty way of it, is my way of saying it, and how my guides often present it. This beauty way of dichotomy that includes this heavy, challenging, there's frenetic psychic energy and other people's psychology playing through the ethers on high. It probably has a lot to do with Mercury amidst the stellium in Aries, and Mars being right up in there, and Chiron, I mean, all of it. And then alongside it, there's this incredible energy of support and I don't want to say promise because that can, at least for me, and you probably can relate to this, that can invoke a stepping back feeling. Yeah, I've heard promises before, especially from those we trust or readers on YouTube who say, oh, it's going to be great and everything. But there is this, oh, it's coming through as like a song, an experience of a song, or when you go outside and catch you you catch that whiff of a scent in the air, and it symbolizes something. It both, goes straight into the limbic system and brings up memories of those special moments, a spring breeze, or um, wet forest soil after a summer rain. Those kinds of things that evoke memory sensations, and they also come with a conversation of what's coming and what's actually, I'm being reminded, what's actually here for us. And so when we're feeling this compression, this breakthrough, this shedding, this weightedness, it can feel gutting. And I'm hearing the layers of that word, gutting in the visceral and somatic sense, and gutting in almost a literal sense of cleansing and clearing out the macro and micro crevices of our physical and our energetic body to make room for more. And that's not a comfortable, it's not always a comfortable thing. I like to think of it in terms of like pressure washing concrete. And if concrete had a consciousness that was refined and advanced enough to feel and perceive and give feedback, it would say when we pressure wash pressure wash the concrete, ouch, this hurts. And then we might remind the concrete, but remember how great you feel, how good it feels to be exposed to the light more fully and cleanly when the sun, shines on you, and feel the water as it runs over you. And the concrete that apparently has consciousness now goes, oh yeah, okay, but ouch. I'm hearing a few other proverbial words come through on that too. So I sat down initially as the prelude to the reading that is for this particular Scorpio full moon, but also at any point in time when you find this reading, it's timeless. It pertains most definitely because you found it. So I went to pull from the angelic invocations. And right as I got everything all prepared, I was drawn over to a deck that I used to have in the book that goes with it, the medicine cards. And it's one of my original first decks that has just mostly disappeared over the years. I have 3 cards left of this entire animal deck. So I heard very clearly to open it up and at a random page and see what comes through. And we've got 2 animals that want to go on a journey with us today. There it is. We have the snake and the deer. I think we'll get to both. Spirit is those around me and communicating with me that are also connected with you. Everybody has a lot of opinions, or not even opinions, feedback and input and wants and needs. And so I'm also hearing to still do the angel cards. I don't think we're going to get to all of that in this preliminary reading, but let's start with the snake, since that was the first one to come out, bold and powerful, and it makes sense. So the little poem that comes with it, and go ahead and allow yourself as a reminder to move your awareness into your breath and feel that breath moving through your body and creating that presence of weightedness, groundedness as it moves through your body, anchors into the earth, and your consciousness becomes more concentrated and collected within your physical body. Okay? So keep going ahead and being in that breath. A little poem at the beginning of this says, Snake, come crawling. There's fire in your eyes. Bite me, excite me. I'll learn to realize. The poison transmuted brings eternal flame. Open me to heaven to heal me again. Wow, that's very Plutonian. And Pluto, of course, is naturally housed in Scorpio. So it's the shamanic initiation. The phrase trial by fire doesn't exactly even come close to encompassing. It's more initiation by all of it. So here's what it says. Snake medicine people are very rare. Their initiation involves experiencing and living through multiple snake bites, which allows them to transmute all poisons, be they mental, physical, spiritual, or emotional. The power of snake medicine is the power of creation, for it embodies sexuality, psychic energy, alchemy, reproduction, and ascension, or immortality. The transmutation of the life-death rebirth cycle is exemplified by the shedding of snake's skin. It is the energy of wholeness, cosmic consciousness, and the ability to experience anything willingly and without resistance. It is the knowledge that all things are equal in creation, and that those things which might be experienced as poison can be eaten, ingested, integrated, and transmuted if one has the proper state of mind, the intention. Thoth, the Atlantean, who later returned as Hermes was the father of alchemy, used the symbology of 2 snakes intertwining around a sword to represent healing. Complete understanding and acceptance of the male and female within each organism creates a melding of the 2 into one, thereby producing divine energy. Snake medicine teaches you on a personal level that you are a universal being. Through accepting all aspects of your life, you can bring about, excuse me, you can bring about the transmutation of the fire medicine. This fire energy, when functioning on the material plane, creates passion, desire, procreation, and physical vitality. On the emotional plane, it becomes ambition, creation, resolution, and dreams. On the mental plane, it becomes intellect, power, charisma, and leadership. When this snake energy reaches the spiritual plane, it becomes wisdom, understanding, wholeness, and connection to the Great Spirit. If you have chosen this symbol, there is a need within you to transmute some thought, action, or desire so that wholeness may be achieved. This is heavy magic. Yeah. But remember, magic is no more than a change in consciousness. Become the magician or the enchantress, transmute the energy, and accept the power of fire. And I'd like to add a little asterisk caveat that's coming through as a reminder that this isn't a mental game exclusively. Our mind is meant to be used as a tool to direct, but consciousness is a state of presence and emotional, heart centered awareness and connection. So, all the parts. And Western society has gotten itself in a good deal of trouble over the last few hundred years. Um, was it Confucius who really I wonder that his quote was not adulterated as often happens with famous philosophers and theologians and mystics. I think, therefore I am. And if it's not Confucius, forgive me, it's just what came to mind. An eagle just flew by. And while that is true and accurate, as always, it's not the whole thing. Feeling and experiencing and presence, those aren't thinking things. Connecting with spirit and the spiritual realm, those aren't thinking games. Those are a collaboration of all of our tenets: physical, energetic, emotional, mental, and beyond, reflective, self assessing, interoperception, high sensitive perception, and on and on and on. Interrealm, multidimensional perception and communication. And then there's more. So, and I don't need to get into that because this is really, yeah. This is really, yeah. But I do love how that animal spirit medicine description really touches on what I was saying at the beginning of opening this video. And we are going to continue with reading the deer spirit medicine because it feels like a very important and beautiful contrast, which is that beauty way. Yes, it's this, and also it's this. And both of these pages presented themselves as I did the random flip quite predominantly. So here we go. Here is the little poem excerpt at the beginning. Dear, so gentle and loving you are, the flower of kindness and embrace from afar. I wish I had these cards still. They're quite beautiful. I do have 3. Here was the snake. I have the snake. That's one of them. And then this is the image that would be on the card. So gentleness being the key word. One day, Fawn heard Great Spirit calling to her from the top of Sacred Mountain. Fawn immediately started up the trail. She didn't know that a horrible demon guarded the way to the Great Spirit's lodge. The demon was trying to keep all the beings of creation from connecting with Great Spirit. He wanted all of Great Spirit's creatures to feel that Great Spirit didn't want to be disturbed. This would make the demon feel powerful and capable of causing them to fear him. Fawn was not at all frightened when she came upon the demon, and this was curious, as the demon was the archetype of all the ugly monsters that have ever been. The demon breathed fire and smoke and made disgusting sounds to frighten Fawn. Any normal creature would have fled or died on the spot from fright. Fawn, however, said gently to the demon, "Please let me pass. I am on my way to see the Great Spirit." Fawn's eyes were filled with love and compassion for this oversized bully of a demon. The demon was astounded by Fawn's lack of fear. No matter how he tried, he could not frighten Fawn, because her love had penetrated his hardened, ugly heart. Much to the demon's dismay, his rock-hard heart began to melt, and his body shrank to the size of a walnut. Fawn's persistent love and gentleness had caused the meltdown of the demon. Due to this gentleness and caring that Fawn embodied, the pathway is now clear for all of Great Spirit's children to reach Sacred Mountain without having to feel the demons of fear blocking their way. Deer teaches us to use the power of gentleness to touch the hearts and minds of wounded beings who are trying to keep us from Sacred Mountain. Like the dappling of Fawn's coat, both the light and the dark may be loved to create gentleness and safety for those who are seeking peace. If Deer has gently nudged its way into your cards today, you are being asked to find the gentleness of spirit that heals all wounds. Stop pushing so hard to get others to change and love them exactly as they are. Apply gentleness to your present situation and become like the summer breeze, warm and caring. This is your tool for solving the present dilemma you are facing. If you use it, you will connect with Sacred Mountain, your centering place of serenity, and Great Spirit will guide you. The deer, gentleness. The snake, transmutation. So with that, my friends, I will bid you adieu for the moment and move on to the reading for today. I hope this brought you a sense of reactivation and reminding, that remembering of who you already and always know that you truly, at the core of your being, are. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being in this world.